YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Taylor, and this is Black Hammer, the Library Edition, Volume 2. Yeah, I'm going to review this bad boy today. This thick boy, this beefcake, this big old beast of... Well, I'm going to stop with all that. I did review Volume 1 previously. I'm going to leave a link to it. Oh, hey, I think I actually pointed to the right corner. I'm going to leave a link to it up there now. And so watch that first. And if you've not read this, yeah, go read Black Hammer. There's going to be some spoilers, because this is Volume 2. So read at least Volume 1. Not read the whole thing, because here's the short review. It's really worth reading. It's really good. Go read it. Now, let's get into it, and I'll nitpick it, and I'll do all, my old cranky stuff. So this is, yeah, like I said, the Black Hammer Library Edition, Volume 2, which collects the Black Hammer, the Age of Doom, as well as a one-shot Cthulhuese and the World of Black Hammer Encyclopedia, which is basically, the official handbook of the Black Hammer universe, or who's who, or whatever, at the end. Nice little extras. I did not read all of that because, I got tired and lazy, and I'm old. So, Black Hammer Volume 1. All these heroes are basically save the world from the anti-god and then disappear and end up on a farm where they're trapped for 10 years. And they're living a sort of, trying to live a mundane life, and they're all miserable, cranky, for various reasons, and hating life for the most part, and then they learn to try and finally accept it for them. And then Lucy, who is the daughter of the original Black Hammer, who died trying to leave the farm, shows up and says, hey, I know what happened, I know why you're all here, and then one of the characters wipes her memory, and that's it. That's Volume 1. So Volume 2 picks up kind of where that leaves off. It shifts focus from Volume 1 a bit, as needed, because now Lucy has entered the Black Hammer farm, and it becomes sort of the main character, the catalyst, the focal point of the story, and the means of getting them out, and the means of figuring out what's going on, and all that stuff. And you learn where they are. I'm not going to try and spoil everything, because it's a fun, interesting little plot twist. So you learn what's really going on. You learn that who's behind it. And, it's some dastardly supervillainy, and not really, but it's just you kind of learn how and why and what happened to the heroes and all that. And then it kind of does as it should, because this is the end of the main story of these heroes. It wraps it all up in a very, not necessarily neat package, but in a fairly perfect ending. I could probably nitpick it a little and say I wish the ending were a little longer. I wish it had a little more focus at the end of it all, but it is a nice, solid way to wrap up the story. The artwork by Dean Ormston is... Ormston, sorry, I butchered his name. It's fantastic. He's... For a superhero comic, it kind of revels in the mundanity. That's not a real word, probably. I think I'm just making up crap now. All words are made up. But, I mean, it does have... Oops, hitting the mic. I'm a rookie today, folks. It does have some, great scenes and stuff and all that, and some splash pages, as you will, but the details that they focus on are fairly mundane for the most part. And Dean's really excels at that. He's great at making the characters look pained and showing facial expressions in a fairly minimal way. Kind of reminds me of Mike Mignola a bit, not in the heavy shadow use, but just in sort of the minimal layouts and use of architecture as almost a story element and that kind of thing. Speaking of storytelling, Dean's very, very effective at it. I was never confused when he was drawing it. Like the panel transitions and leading your eye across the page and the storytelling breakdowns and everything else. It's solid. There's never going to be a moment where you're like, what happened? Why? Visually. I mean, there's definitely what happened. The whole thing's a mystery, but visually, you're never confused when Dean's drawn it. There's a couple issue fillers in the middle that I don't love quite as much by Rich Tomasi, but because they're just, the art style's drastically different. Still simple, but drastically different line work and drastically different means of storytelling. And there are some panels where I felt just a little lost when Rich Tommaso was on the artwork. and yeah, they're not my favorite. They're not bad, just very, very, very simple figures. More cartoony than Dean's work, and even with that, there is action and stuff, but like it's just kind of fairly flat, cartoony action, and it was kind of jarring at first. Now I also realized why it happened. I mean, first of all, Dean's work does seem to take time, and Dean was recovering from a brain injury while drawing this series, so I think he probably needed a break in the middle. And the way that Jeff Lemire, the writer, has set up the filler issues makes sense because there's a transition in those filler issues that allows for a different artist to flex and take over because it makes sense story-wise. So that's good. It's just not my favorite. I was happy to see Dean come back for the finale. There's some alternative covers. I think this is Bill Sienkiewicz doing an alternative cover. Good old Bill. This one here. And then, the main covers. You have all the covers in here, and it's great. And the Lucy character is not 100% fleshed out, but you follow her journey and her effort to save these heroes. I don't need to go into which every hero is in this one. My previous review gets into some of that, but it does follow a lot of the tropes of the Golden and Silver Age heroes and some of the modern stuff. There's a direct references to the Martian Manhunter. There's a Captain America / Batman analogy figure. There's a 1940s Golden Age sci-fi explorer and robot. There's a Captain Marvel substitute, basically. There's a witch who has a House of Secrets for the most part. And so it takes a lot of DC and Marvel influences. More DC, I'd say, and crams them into this book. And it touches on the nature of storytelling and the nature of the author and ideas and where they come from. Pays homage to a lot of stuff. There are references to Neil Gaiman's Sandman in here. Maybe I'm making this sound intimidating, but it is not. It was a straightforward read, a very effective read. If you like any of Lemire stuff, you're really going to like this. If you've read Sweet Tooth or anything like that, I think you'd dig it Black Hammer, especially because it's not a deconstruction of superheroics and all that. It's not The Watchmen, but it is a sort of darker take with some wry humor and some of that going on. But it's not like there's not like an underlying hatred of heroes. It's a loving modern storytelling of heroes of superheroes and. You can just sort of tell that Jeff is having fun, and the characters he creates are great. There's Lucy the Black Hammer is fantastic. Madame Dragonfly, Mark Marks, which is the Martian Manhunter, Abraham Slambowski, I think I butcher the names. Colonel Weird, Sherlock Frankenstein. A lot of little minute quote unquote throwaway characters that they've explored in further volumes and stuff that are getting their own thing. This is not the end of the Black Hammer universe. It is the end of the main Black Hammer initial story. So you can buy Library Volume 1 and Library Volume 2 or read them on Comixology or whatever, and you'll have this complete tale. And it'll give you a great groundwork for reading the future volumes. Because I did this backwards. I started reading the newer stuff that Jeff was putting out, and I was a little... The nice thing is Jeff Lemire is a very, very good storyteller. So you're never really feeling lost. You get the idea of what's going on with the characters and stuff, but you don't have the full backstory on a lot of them unless you read this. So you can buy all the newer stuff and be fine, but if you want the full enriching experience, pick up Black Hammer, Library Edition, Volume 2, or Age of Doom, or whatever it's called. I think it's available in trade paperback probably too. I don't know. I just wanted the library. It's got the little thingy, the little bookie mark. It's got other stuff. It's got the encyclopedia of characters, and I've not read it all, but I will. And it's got sketch art and concept art and covers, things you'd expect in an omnibus. I found this on Amazon. I'm not giving this one out unless, well, not now. Maybe if I want to give away all my worldly possessions and start on my world tour and pilgrimage around the USA, then maybe. But that's a different story for a different day, folks. Golden Gale, yeah. So but anyways, tangent. I loved, and I still do have a great affection in my heart for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, where they talk about the first appearance of the characters and give a brief synopsis of them and like their power levels and all that kind of stuff. I think it's all fun, and I would just devour that when I was a kid, and I would at some point I will get in and devour this. It's worth a It's worth a read. I'm keeping it because it's going to be a reread for me, which I don't always do. Some of these books I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to ever see this one again. Not the case with Black Hammer. Not the case with Black Hammer Volume 2. Volume 1's a little beefier. It has a little more story because this does have the cover gallery and the encyclopedia in the back, but still worth picking up, I think. So, I don't know. That's about it, right? It's not cranky. I kind of like it. So, I know some people really like it when I'm cranky in reviews, and I get that, but I do read because I want to enjoy what I'm reading, and I really did enjoy what I was reading here. So, there you have it, folks. Black Hammer. Don't be a dick, even if you're trapped on a farm in a strange alternate universe for 10 years. See ya.